Heat number 13 of the 1987 Inaugural World Sprint Car Championship, featuring the two leading point scorers off row 1. Ron Cricky off the pole. Alongside him is Steve Brazier, but the caution lights come on. The stewards are not happy with that start. It looked like the drivers were very towy at the beginning of that heat. The caution lights have come on, and the drivers are being told to hold position, slow down. There is a white line just 30 metres before the start-finish line, and there it is on screen now, and the drivers cannot start racing until they get up to this line. They now come out of turn number 4. This time it was a perfect dispatch, and getaway there was car number 99 from Western Australia. That is Ron Cricky. In second place is the New South Wales champion, Steve Brazier, as they pour on the speed down the back straight into turn number 3 and 4, and this is World Sprint Car action at its best. Steve Brazier straight under Ron Cricky. This is absolutely mind-blowing speedway action now, with Steve Brazier out in front. That's the New South Wales champion. They call him Steamin' Steve Brazier, and he is turning on the speed in front of this crowd of almost 15,000 Speedway fans have gathered to watch this second night of the World Sprint Car Championship. Ron Cricky from Western Australia is in second place. Then back into third position is the New South Wales driver George Tatnell, and a great battle going on back through the field with Shane Carson running in about sixth position. There he is just on screen, but have a look at this man out in front. Steve Brazier, well and truly dialed into this big Claremont Speedway circuit here in Western Australia, hosting this inaugural World Sprint Car Championship, and the cameraman working overtime to bring you these brilliant action shots now. Steve Brazier still out in front. In second place is Ron Cricky. Then back to George Tatnell, car number 5 from New South Wales, but the lights are on. We've got a spin on the top part of the circuit. The caution lights are on. One car's gone sideways. We'll see him on screen any moment. There he is, the South Australian driver Wayne Bunker. No, it isn't. It's Dennis Burford has turned it around. Car number 9. Dennis Burford has spun the car right in the middle of turn number 4, and we'll pick this very exciting Heat 13 of the World Sprint Car Championship up at the restart. Drivers coming around now for the restart of Heat number 13 of the 1987 World Sprint Car Championship, all part of the America's Cup Festival of Sport. The New South Wales champion, Steve Brazier, is off the front of the field, and they're under racing condition now. Off the end of the main straight goes the big pack of sprint cars. In second place is the West Australian driver, Ron Cricky. Then back to New South Wales, car number 5, George Tatnell. Right behind him is the other West Australian driver, John Cricky, car number 17. But our race leader, onto the main straight he comes at a very high rate of knots indeed. He'd be travelling at approximately 100 mile an hour around this big Claremont Speedway circuit here in Western Australia. From New South Wales, the man that won the New South Wales title only 2 weeks ago on his home track, Parramatta. A very fast speedway track, not quite the same size as this big circuit here in Western Australia. And Steve Brazier, his first ever drive on the big Claremont Speedway track was at this World Sprint Car title, so he certainly has adapted himself extremely well. There he is, car number 58, with just 3 laps remaining of heat number 13. Steamin' Steve Brazier, well and truly turning on the power, and now as he established a lead of somewhere around about 200 metres between him and first place. There is the distance. Ron Cricky still in second position, car number 99 from Western Australia. Steve Brazier is a former 2 times Australian champion, and the man in second place, Ron Cricky, is a former Australian champion. And the man behind him, car number 5 from New South Wales, George Tatnell, there he is on screen, is a former 3 times Australian speed car title holder before he ventured into sprint cars several seasons ago. But the man out in front has the white flag, and he's racing for the checkered flag, and that is the New South Wales driver. Coming around now to receive the checkered flag, Steamin' Steve Brazier from New South Wales. A brilliant drive by him. In second place was the WA driver Ron Cricky. Then back to New South Wales 5, George Tatnell. And the time for the last 6 laps was a 1:42.51. That was the win's time for the last 6 laps.
Heat number 14 lined up now for the 87 World Sprint Car Championships, and by gee, it's going to be on with a vengeance here. They run out of time to start gaining those all-important points. Off and racing this time, and it's Australia's Gary Rush Whole Shots leads the charge into turn number 1 ahead of Rocky Hodges in the number 1 car. And while talking about Rocky Hodges, 1:30 a.m. this morning, working on the car after the first night here last night at Claremont Speedway in Western Australia, blowing up a right rear tyre, and the tyre exploded on him, cutting his arm very badly, bruising his ribs and severe facial lacerations. Didn't get out of hospital till about 5 a.m. this morning, and here he is competing in night 2 of the World Sprint Car Championship. Well, that's guts personified for you, and back with the race leader, 25, Gary Rush from Rocky Hodges, then to like Bill Barrows, I think, into that, no, it's in actual fact Brett Lacey, the current Australian National Sprint Car Champion. He's in the 3rd place, but there goes Gary Rush ahead of Rocky Hodges, the man I was just talking about, who injured himself last night and doing a great job out there, driving in severe pain. There he is, Gary Rush, 7 times Australian Sprint Car Champion, currently leading this heat number 14. Rocky Hodges keeping him very, very honest indeed as they charge off turn number 2. Brett Lacey back there in 3rd, but there goes Gary Rush. Absolutely brilliant, and there's the gap. Nothing in it at all. Probably 2 car lengths between 1st and 2nd. Gary Rush from Rocky Hodges, and then to Brett Lacey. He's followed through there by number 6, Ian Bradford, in the number 6 car. Down the back straight away once again, and there's the man hard at work behind the steering wheel of the number 25 car. The man in a hurry, aptly named Gary Rush. There's a beautiful shot there of the USA top liner in Rocky Hodges. Has raced here quite extensively in Perth, Western Australia over the last 3 or 4 years, and always enjoys his racing in Western Australia. Here comes Gary Rush once again. 7 down and 3 to go. Rush leads from Hodges. In the 3rd place is Brett Lacey. Followed through there in the number 6 black and gold car from Western Australia, Ian Bradford. Positions unchanged now as Hodges starts to claw his way back. Right into contention in this one. Clawing his way up onto the tail of the Gary Rush number 25 car as they smoke it off turn number 2. Go down the back straight away. Pressure aplenty out there at the moment. And Hodges starts to climb right inside the cab. There with Gary Rush as the white flag is held out. 9 completed and 1 to go. Very quick indeed. Rush from Hodges, and then back to Brett Lacey and Ian Bradford. Very evenly spaced the front 4 cars, but it's all Gary Rush on the run for the wire. Checkered flag out, and Gary Rush takes the win over the American Rocky Hodges in 3rd. It was Australia's number 1, just won only some 6-8 weeks ago, the Australian Sprint Car Championship. For 3rd in that heat was Brett Lacey. 4th there went to number 6 in Ian Bradford. But a great win going the way of Gary Rush. 10-lap time was 2 minutes 58.08.
Drivers coming around now for a start for heat number 15 of the World Sprint Car Championship, night number 2. Qualifying heat number 15, and the 16-year-old driver, Stephen Arrigo, leads them away in 2nd place. There on the outside is the American driver. That is the young 15-year-old Jeff Gordon. He goes back to about 3rd place because the man in 2nd position is Jimmy Sauls. Absolutely off the planet tonight. This is absolute world-class sprint car racing here at Claremont Speedway in Western Australia. The 16-year-old driver, Stephen Arrigo, who crashed in his last heat, now has rebuilt the front end of the car with the help of his hard-working crew, and he's back out on the racetrack driving a very hard and determined race. Car number 12 from the Northern Territory. Here's the current NT champion, a driver who has only been competing in sprint cars for 10 months, and he is now leading this heat number 15 of the 1987 World Sprint Car title. The man in 2nd place is Jimmy Sauls, a very experienced campaigner, formerly from Sacramento in America. A very experienced man, and goes by the nickname of Buckwheat, Jimmy Sauls. In 3rd place is the Victorian driver, Max Boland, car number 20, but our race leader, what a brilliant performance being put on by this driver. Car number 12, Stephen Arrigo. As smoke starts to come off the track now, the hard-working rear tyres of these sprint cars well and truly working overtime on this big speedway track as the rubber starts to pour.
Off the cars, you can see the blackened part of the tracks now as the cars throw themselves into turn number 1, with Jimmy Sewell still in second place. This race is not over by any stretch of the imagination, I should say, because we have Stephen Arrigo just leading. Jimmy Sewell's in second place. Oh no, tragedy there. We're just about to see on screen Jeff Gordon, car number 16, has blown an inside tyre. That is the drive tyre that he has blown. And the 15-year-old American limps to the infield on board car number 16. Back with our race leader, car number 12 from the Northern Territory. Well, smoke starting to hinder these drivers as they race around now with just 3 laps remaining. And the protest flag coming out to the driver, causing this huge pall of smoke which is starting to hang over this Claremont Raceway. That is the New Zealand driver, Ian Easton, car number 11. But the action continues. Oh no, the race leader was almost wiped out there by the West Australian driver, Dave Thompson. He spun on turn number 1 and then crawled back onto the track, car number 40 on screen. Dave Thompson almost brought down the race leaders, car number 12 from the Northern Territory. 7 drivers remaining for the restart for heat number 15. And the young 16-year-old Stephen Arrigo just about to send him underway. There is the field contesting this restart. Drivers coming around now. They should be sent under racing orders this time as they move on to the main straight. Yes, they're up and racing this time. Arrigo's still out in front. Sewell's right on his tailpipe now. Car number 75 on screen. Then we go back to Max Boland. But our race leader there was Stephen Arrigo. Jimmy Sewell's in second. Then we go right back to the rest of the field with Max Boland, and right behind him is David Gratz. Sprint car racing at its very best being presented here. The inaugural World Sprint Car title in front of a crowd of about 15,000 people, and they're certainly enjoying every moment of this world-class speedway presentation. Stephen Arrigo out in front now, coming across the line to receive the checkered flag. A brilliant performance by him. In second place was the USA driver, car number 75. That was Jimmy Sewell's. Then back in third position, Victorian car number 20. That was Max Boland. Right behind him with the Northern Territory driver, car number 11, David Gratz. And the time for the last 2 laps, the win's time was a 35.35. 12 cars to face the starter. And starting rear of field is the 15-year-old American driver, Jeff Gordon, the pint-sized competitor. So he will have a very tough assignment. There he is on screen. He is at the back of the field, so he'll have a very tough assignment indeed to work his way forward. Now, off and racing this time, and it's young Shane Murphy who leads them away in car number 96. But on the inside there is the veteran of over 25 years in speedway racing. That is George Tatnell from New South Wales. Down the back straight they thunder for the first time. The big 600 horsepower beasts throw the machines into turn number 3 and 4. And it's still George Tatnell leading in second place, but the lights have come on. The caution lights have come on. We had Ray David, car number 6 from the Northern Territory, completely lost the front end of the car. He collided with another driver. It looks like Dennis Burford from South Australia was involved. But there is a very sick and sorry looking race car. Ray David from the Northern Territory, car number 6. The complete end of that machine wiped out. The tow truck is coming online to remove that car from the circuit, and we'll pick this B main feature race up at the restart. Restart now for the B main feature race for the sprint cars. 11 cars to face the starter. They're off and racing, and they dip and dive now as they go off the end of the main straight. This big field of cars work their way out of turns 1 and 2 now and race down the back straight. Our race leader is the young 19-year-old Shane Murphy, car number 96 from Western Australia. In second place, the veteran of 25 years in speedway, George Tatnell from Sydney. Then up there into third place is Tony Matter, the West Australian driver. But have a look at these first 2 cars, well and truly entertaining this big crowd tonight with tremendous sprint car racing. Car number 96 from WA, that is Shane Murphy out in front. In second place, from New South Wales, George Tatnell. Then a long way back to car number 29. There he is on screen. That's Tony Matter. Further back there to car number 40 from Western Australia, Dave Thompson. On the inside of him, the New Zealand champion. That was Lyndon Kendall. But back with our race leader. And Shane Murphy working car number 96 overtime as he throws the big machine into turn number 1 and 2. Gets ready for the line down the run, back straight. And it's Shane Murphy, car number 96. Well and truly got this car dialed into the big Claremont Speedway circuit here in Western Australia. In second place is car number 5, George Tatnell. Then back to car number 29. That is Tony Matter. But our race leader, Shane Murphy. There he is on screen now, and that's the gap between first and second. So it's Murphy leading. George Tatnell still in second place. Then back to car number 29, Tony Matter. But the sprint cars well and truly burning up the raceway now as they go down the back straight once again with 20 big laps remaining of this feature race. Shane Murphy out of turn number 4, powers down the main straight. George Tatnell still in his sights there in second place. But Tatnell unable to make up any ground on the race leader. Shane Murphy certainly driving car number 96 to perfection. Well, we got Dave Thompson there just pictured on screen, spun off the racetrack, but Shane Murphy certainly isn't doing any spinning tonight so far because he is out in front and in command of this sprint car B main feature race. Shane Murphy, car number 96. In second place is still the New South Wales driver in George Tatnell. Well, this is Shane's first competitive night of sprint car racing at this World Sprint Car title. George Tatnell, the man in second place, is a former 3 times Australian speed car champion. He moved into the sprint car division about 5 seasons ago and has been one of the top performers ever since. But young Shane Murphy, he drives regularly in the speed car division, and in this World Sprint Car title decided to have a go in sprint car racing, and he certainly has been doing a very good race indeed. Out of turn number 4 he goes, onto the main straight. George Tatnell now starting to close the gap with 19 laps remaining of this big sprint car feature race. Shane Murphy still leading. In second place, George Tatnell. Now they start to work themselves out of turn number 4. That was beautiful camera work there. We certainly picked it up with 14 laps remaining. And now to take you through the second half of this feature race is Wayne Chuck Redmond.
Thanks, Brad. Yes, as we see now, Shane Murphy, the number 96 car, just as Brad Thompson just said, his first competitive meeting driving a sprint car, and the young fella is covering himself in glory out there up against a very experienced George Tatnell in car number 5. Then to Tony Matter, back then to the young United States of America star in Jeff Gordon. Off turn number 4 they come with 12 laps remaining. It's car number 96. Shane Murphy smoking the tyres up there in front of car 5. That's Gorgeous George, the captain. George Tatnell it is, and he's starting to close the gap on young Shane Murphy, who gets a little untidy coming off turn number 4 and runs a little bit inside the concrete curb. Gets it back out there on the straight and narrow, and Tatnell can smell that he may have a chance if he can just bridge this 15-metre gap that Shane Murphy has on him at this point in time. Tony Matter, the driver, back there in third place, the West Australian driver. Then back to the US of A's Jeff Gordon, the young 15-year-old, and now the pressure goes on the race leader, Shane Murphy. Here comes number 5, George Tatnell, pokes the nose in underneath. Very hard indeed now, hooking over the concrete curb. It's Shane Murphy with just 9 laps remaining in this, the B-main feature race for the 1987 World Sprint Car title. Here he comes once again. George Tatnell looks up, down and all over the place, trying to get through on the inside, starting to monster the back of the Shane Murphy car now as he sets it out high, wide and handsome and ducks it down onto the concrete curb. And the front 4 cars are really starting to come together now. We've got Murphy in front of Tatnell, then to Matter and Gordon. Still nothing in it as they've just got less than 7 laps to go. Shane Murphy from Perth in Western Australia, ahead of the Sydney sider from New South Wales on the east coast of Australia, George Tatnell. Then back, here he goes now underneath, and George Tatnell smokes underneath Shane Murphy and grabs the wind in his face. Well, the many years of experience telling there. for George Tatnall over the rookie driver Shane Murphy. Tony Matter now starts to put Murphy under the hammer. They run hard into turn number 3 and the tyres going right off on the Shane Murphy 96 car. Back then to Tony Matter, Jeff Gordon away, looking for a way around the outside. Here he goes now. Have a look at the young fella. Jeff Gordon, absolutely brilliant, just 15 years of age. Can you believe it? That is brilliant sprint car racing from the young fella. Jeff Gordon into second place. There he goes in the 16 car ahead of Shane Murphy. Then to Tony Matter. But there's our race leader in number 5, George Tatnall. The 44-year-old veteran from Sydney, New South Wales, the east coast of Australia, out in front and looking good. But the young 15-year-old Jeff Gordon is coming at him at 100 mile an hour. Tony Matter through on the inside of Shane Murphy, who has just gone up in a cloud of smoke, so the pressure on with 2 laps to go. It is Jeff Gordon. Have a look at this. The young 15-year-old rookie up against the veteran sprint car driver, and oh! Jeff Gordon gets through on the inside, and Tatnall fights back on the inside once again. This is brilliant sprint car racing, the B-main feature, and Jeff Gordon comes out of that duel on top. Number 16, Jeff Gordon into the last lap. Checkered flag will be out this time around, and what an absolute lungbuster of a race for Jeff Gordon, the 15-year-old kid from the United States of America, takes out the B-main feature from George Tatnall from Sydney, New South Wales, over Western Australia's Tony Matter. What a race. The B-main feature goes to Jeff Gordon over George Tatnall, then to Tony Matter. Wins time for the journey, 7 minutes 38.55. The local crowd can't believe it, but a great race for Jeffrey Gordon from the United States of America. The young 15-year-old star takes out the B-main feature here on night 2 of the 1987 World Sprint Car Championship.